404-382-0338. 404-382-0338. From what I understand, we had a couple little gremlins a little bit earlier, but I think everything is fine. Thank you so much for joining your boy. Pass the word on the show. We need to grow this thing. We're trying to make this the biggest online sports talk show in America. And why can't we do it? Why can't we do it? Yes, we can do it because we have fun around here. We have a good time. We talk about what you want to talk about in the world of sports. And we not sugarcoat nothing. All right? We're not sugarcoating a damn thing. You can have fun on this show and give a real trio sports talk opinion. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. We've been talking about Steve Smith and the fact that he balled out of control this weekend against his old team, the Carolina Panthers. I didn't even realize it that Steve Smith is in the league. He played for Carolina for 13 years. Did you realize Steve Smith had been around that long? And when you think about it, yes, Carolina played in the Super Bowl way back in the day, okay? And Steve Smith is still around. And not only is he still around, but Steve Smith is productive. Steve Smith is very productive right now. And he's probably the go-to guy for that Baltimore Ravens offense. Yeah, even though he's 35, 36 years old, but he is getting it done. He told the Carolina Panthers they shouldn't let him go. He told them he still had some gas left in the tank, and they didn't listen. They didn't listen, and now they regret it. And Ozzie Newsome, with all that they've been going through with the Baltimore Ravens over the last couple of months with this Ray Rice situation, Ozzie Newsome knows talent. Okay, they've always been a team that gets the best possible talent. They always emphasize defense, and they run an offense where they run the ball, and that's what they've done, and Steve Smith fits in perfectly up there with the Baltimore Ravens, So, yeah, you got to give a baller award to Steve Smith, which he's gotten a lot of baller awards in his lifetime. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Is Steve Smith the greatest player in Carolina Panthers history? I think he's greater than Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers has went to a couple of different teams now. He was with Chicago, and now he's with the Green Bay. And then you talk about Jake Delhomme. No, probably not. I wouldn't say that. Kevin Green played for the Carolina Panthers for a minute, but Kevin Green is going to be known more so for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think if you ask people about Kevin Green, they're going to talk about the Steelers. What about Sam Mills? Sam Mills is a great player, but once again, I personally have a lot of fond memories of Sam Mills in New Orleans. So I don't think he fits the bill for an all-time Carolina Panther. Now, he is it's very close. It's almost like with Sam Mills that there's almost like a split right in the middle of what you consider him to be. New Orleans Saint or Carolina Panthers, kind of like Dion with Atlanta and I think Dallas. And I think people forget about Dion being in San Francisco. So, yeah. I think Steve Smith is that guy. And then also we started talking about, you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, we started talking about small guys in sports or your favorite little guy in sports. Got a couple of tweets. A guy tweeted in talking about Allen Iverson and as one of his little guys in sports that he loves. And I agree with that 100%. Huge Allen Iverson fan. Big time Allen Iverson fan. But Steve Smith and Allen Iverson, they're in a special group. Those are like little guys that will fight you. And Steve Smith literally and Allen Iverson metaphorically. Yes. These guys will fight you tooth and nail, and they always seem like they got a chip on their shoulder. You know why? Yeah, I've been there. When you're a little guy, people kind of don't give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll give a big guy the benefit of the doubt, but not a little guy. A little guy's got to prove himself. A little guy's got to show that he belongs. A little guy's got to really, you almost got to do 2 times what a big guy has to do so that people will even believe you, you know? So, I go with Steve Smith. I go with Isaiah Thomas. I go with some of these guys, Allen Iverson. These guys got real heart. And a lot of times your coaches used to tell you back in the day, it's all about heart. You might not be the biggest guy, but that guy has a lot of heart. And you can put those guys into that conversation, into that category. All right. These are guys that just, They just play the game like it's supposed to be played. Joe Hamilton, former Georgia Tech quarterback, second in the Heisman Trophy. You could put him in that category as well. Joe had heart. Joe was a field general. And that's the type player that Steve Smith is. Now, is Steve Smith a little bit more violent than those guys? He's a lot bit more violent than those guys. Those guys are good-natured dudes, good-hearted, and just play their particular games at a high level. No. Steve Smith is that, except for Steve Smith is violent and nasty. He is violent and nasty. But I absolutely love that guy's game. 404-382-0338, 404-382-0338. Here's a tweet from Jeremy. He says, why are the little guys so damn mean? Isaiah Steve Smith. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. The little guys are mean, and it's just because of what I was saying earlier. The little guys got a chip on their shoulder. All right? The little guys have been told they can't do it forever. Ever since they were a little, literally, they were little guys. That they can't do it, and a lot of times they were probably passed over for a bigger guy with less talent, but just because he was bigger, he didn't get the position or he didn't get the spot. Same thing with Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie should have been in the NFL from day one, but why wasn't he? Why didn't he? Because he was a little guy. Now, I say it all the time, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I say it all the time that if Joe Hamilton would have came out from Georgia Tech in 2013 as opposed to whenever Joe came out in 1996 or 7 or something like that, if Joe would have came out now, Joe would have probably been a second, maybe even late first-round pick. If he would have came out after what Russell Wilson has done over the last couple of years, his game would have shined through much more. Okay? He would have had a couple more $1 million to stack into his bank account than a guy that got drafted very late in the NFL draft when he did, because Joe is the same type of player as Russell Wilson. Matter of fact, I think that I probably would take Joe Hamilton before I would take Russell Wilson. Yes! If you look at what they did career-wise, Russell Wilson had a great career. Joe Hamilton had an exemplary career. He did. Second in the Heisman, same stature, 5'10", 5'10 and a half. 200 pounds. Russell Wilson a little bit thicker, big-ass hands. But Joe Hamilton was that type of player in high school. And the thing about Joe was he was an all-world basketball player as well. Joe could have played basketball for Georgia Tech. Joe led his high school basketball team, the Macedonia Foxes, to 2 state championships. Yes, at point guard. Yes, so he's that type of player. He's a leader not just on the football field, but on the basketball court as well. So I love the little guys, man. Kudos. Ball award goes out to Steve Smith. Man, that guy's violent. And I got a lot of people emailing me saying, you're not lying about Steve Smith. Steve Smith is that dude. He's a guy that you want on his team, and he said it yesterday. He's a guy that you love him when he's on your team, but you hate him when he's not, because he plays with an attitude. He'll get under your skin, and then if you take it to the next level, he'll fight you. Steve Smith will fight you, and I can't say that enough. He will fight you. Yes. So, great game this past weekend, and wow, what do you feel if you're the Carolina Panthers? And I know Steve Smith is probably the favorite player of a ton of kids from North Carolina, okay, from the Charlotte area, from the South, period. And to see him wear that Ravens uniform when he didn't have to, when he still had a little bit left in the tank, I think that your numbers have to tremendously fall off. And a lot of times the economics of the game make it so that that's not the main reason a guy leaves. A guy leaves because another team offers him more money, and it is about money, as much as we don't want to admit it. And you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. A lot of times it's not about money. So, Carolina may have wanted to give him a deal, but they didn't want to give him the term of deal or the amount of money that the Baltimore Ravens are willing to. So a lot of times finances come into it. I get that. I just think you have to find a way to keep your all-time player, okay? Circumstances are different in other sports with other players and other teams. What were the circumstances with the the Tony Dorsett when he was released from the Dallas Cowboys and he ended up playing or not even playing but signing with the Denver Broncos, or what was it, the circumstances when Franco Harris left the Pittsburgh Steelers to play for the Seattle Seahawks. You know, people forget about that, but those things happen at the end of a guy's career. I don't think Steve Smith has lost enough where you didn't want to keep him on your team at all costs, because I think he means more so or just as much off the field as he does on the field. And yesterday they got a taste of Steve Smith running fly routes right past, and his speed is just world class. World class. So I love that player, man. This is the Doug Stewart Show, coming to you live from the ATL. Great wins this past weekend for the University of Georgia. Horrible loss for the Atlanta Falcons. A couple of people have tweeted me, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. A couple of people have tweeted me talking about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt gets the ball award. Dude hit E.J. Manuel 6 times in the first half. It became an even bigger problem in the second when he jumped up, intercepted one of Manuel's throws, and returned it 80 yards for a touchdown, while mildly high-stepping and waving to the crowd as he crossed the goal line. They're talking about this J.J. Watt guy being the MVP of the league. I heard people, somebody on the 4-letter network this morning mention him, in the same breath as the great Reggie White. Yes. And J.J. Watt is that dude. Once again, he is. The ball award goes to J.J. Watt. I agree 100%. He is a once-in-a-lifetime player. He is 100% a once-in-a-lifetime player. So, can't wait to see what happens when Clowney gets back. I forgot about Clowney. Yeah. Clowney is also a member of the Houston Texans. They're 3-1 right now. When Clowney gets back, and if he's 80% of the Jadeveon Clowney that we saw last year at South Carolina, Houston's going to be a team to be reckoned with. They are. Nobody's really talking about it, but they are. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll grab some of your calls, read some of your tweets, continue to have fun on this Man Talk Monday. Ballers, busters, your favorite little guy in sports, all of that. It's the Doug Stewart Show. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone running up my bill with that old hussy. Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for details.